So, for what I have been through, I want to share my testimony through all you guys who are out there, who are listening, that might get touched by the Holy Spirit. I just want to say, going through cancer is rough. For me, I didn't know that until afterwards. For me, because it was just going easy for me. That's why I didn't really notice that cancer is a real difficulty thing to get through. But God knows God can get you through that burning fire in an instant, as He did with me. So how my testimony started was between, I think, December through February, where I started coming home from school, going to sleep. And I'm that type of kid that would be exercising, like an athletic kid. I'm never the type of kid that will go to sleep. So my mom was concerned. She took us to the hospital to see if something was wrong with me. And the doctor said that no, it was just depression. Because at that time, my mom and dad divorced. And also, I kept having headaches. And a few weeks later, I started throwing up. Started once a month, twice and more worse, up to the point where until February 5th, they took us. My mom was desperate to get answers. She was like, no, I want to go to the hospital, because before, when I was throwing up, she took us to the doctor. And they said, no, he has a virus, that's why he's throwing up, because they even took blood from me and see if I had a disease or something, but no. So as we went, doctor was suspected that there was something wrong in me, so he put me under a CT scan. And it was not the doctor, it was I guess the technician's person, but after it was over, he told my mom to wait for tomorrow morning for the results will come in. And she said no, she would rather stay there until tomorrow morning in the patient's lobby. And I guess she scared him much, because she was so no, I'm going to get answers in this moment, now. So he went back in the room, I guess called the doctor, and I guess he told the results to the doctor, and he said, I guess to bring him into a room. So he came out and told us to go into the room. As we were walking to the room, there was 5 to 6 doctors or nurses coming at me, and my mom saying that it's okay, we're here for you, and things like that. But that really scared me, because I didn't know what I had until then. But when people say that they will be there for you, nobody says that. Especially in the hospital, I was even more scared because of what I could have. And my mom was on the edge of crying, but trying to hold it in. And once we got to the room, they told my mom what I had. And when she started crying, that scared me even more, because I knew if she's crying for what I have, then it must be serious. And I was correct, it was serious. Afterwards, I told the doctor, what do I have? He said, that I have brain cancer. So that just left me in shock, dang. Because when I was little, I said if you had cancer, while I was little, I said if you have cancer, you might die. And I said, what stage of cancer? And he said stage 4 terminal, at the edge, going to die. that they took me to another room, I guess to recovery room, because that week during March, and I was just waiting until the days are over for me, because I was sad on bed, knowing that this may be your last few days to live. It's scary. But afterwards, they took me to surgery to remove the tumor. It was a 7-hour open brain surgery. Anything could have happened. But thank God that I'm still here, telling you this. When one of the nurses came out and told my mom that don't expect him to be talking or don't remember him how you think you know him. Well, when I came out, I started talking immediately, saying I'm hungry, and that just gave my mom hope, realization that that God is with her, getting me through it. Afterwards, they took me to the recovery room to recover for like a week, to recover, and then they took me down to another room to recover for like, I guess, for if patients who are kind of recovered. Because when I came out of the surgery, I couldn't walk. I had to learn how to walk again, because for the whole right side became weak, and I had to learn to write on my left hand, and also I forgot how to do like jump, simple things, and because I forgot to do a lot of that. But my mom was there for me. She helped me to walk the second time. I think when you already know how to walk and you forgot, it'll just come naturally to you. It was easy to teach me, but back then when I was little, it probably took me months to walk. Also, they took me into the recovery room. I was there for like 2 days, and then they brought me back to another recovery room, which was the ground level floor. They took me there, and we're talking about treatment options. There, I guess the doctor come and told my mom that the treatment options, and he was saying that you can either take treatment here in Fresno, California, or go to San Jude and take treatment there. He said that the treatment options won't be available on the table for 24 hours. So if you're leaving to San Jude, do so, pack a lot of things that you will need, and for your flight will leave like tomorrow morning. She was desperate and scared and overwhelmed, and she went, there was a place in the hospital where you can pray. So she prayed there, asking God, which is the best decision for me that I should choose. And she prayed there for like 45 to an hour, and came back, and immediately as she came in the room, I said, I think I know what's the best option, to go to St. Jude. For they deal things like this. And as we went to tell the doctor that we're going to St. Jude. I guess he felt like kind of disappointed, because how his expressions on his face kind of seemed like he was disappointed, but he's like, okay. So we went on the airplane to Memphis, Tennessee. And I thought it was in Tennessee at first. I thought it was somewhere in California, like in San Francisco or San Diego. But it was all the way to Memphis. And once they got me registered and checked in and everything, is when they were starting to do radiation for 6 months and then chemo for another 6 months. And during radiation, it really really took a toll on me, because for my eating, if I didn't eat enough, they would put a shunt down through my nose to my stomach to give me food. I didn't want that, because when it's over, they pull it out of your nose. And I just didn't really like that. And also, my appetite became low. I wasn't really eating much. Compared to the size of the hamburger, I ate only half of that hamburger, or maybe even less. So I tried my hardest not to get that shunt. And it was very hard to get through it, because I felt so full. Like, I felt like if I ate a whole entire cake when I just ate half of a hamburger. And it's hard to eat more, but I had to try to not get the shunt that I didn't want. And afterwards, after the 6 months, I went back home to California for a month for, I guess, break and things like that. And then I went back to, I saw my friends in California, friends and family, saying that you will get through this. And I felt really very assured, knowing that God's here with me. And if God's here with me, what can stop him? So I went back to Tennessee to get my chemo. And after I think, since it was 6 months, I think 3 of them were inpatient and 3 of them were outpatient. The inpatient was like for a week, and you stay in this room, in the bed. I didn't really like it. I don't think any of the patients like it. But I was there for a week. And then I like the outpatient more, because outpatient, they just put a line through you and just fill you in with the chemo and then set you off. You don't stay there for a day or anything. But I also couldn't eat as well, so I had to eat more than I ate. It was hard getting through it. It feels like I ate a ridiculous amount of food, but in reality, I haven't even ate much. But in a way, I thank God for all the things that we have been through. Afterwards, I finished through that. Luckily, no shunt or anything was going down through my nose. I barely made it, just barely. But I'm glad that I did. And I feel like I accomplished a lot for eating more than reality I was. But sometimes you gotta thank God for what you've been through, as you may not know if you're gonna live the next day. On December 22nd, I was on remission. That means like there was some part of the tumor that was in my head, but that was asleep, not active. And I remember that day that I felt so proud of myself, of what I accomplished, of what God helped me get through. I was at the edge of death, but God held me and held me and told me to keep walking onto my path of life, as my name was written in his book of life. I thank God for that. Thank God for my life. And I'm glad that I gave my life to God for all the miracles he has done for me. I thank him. Praise God, as he is good, as many times he is there with you. Many times you don't know it, many times you don't see him, but he is there. Even when you don't see him in through the moments, he is there. just waiting for you to answer and open the door to your heart to let him in. I thank you guys.